Hello, everyone. I'm back for another update here. I'm still here in the room. More snags with the repairs on the vehicle. The parts did come in, but then when they double checked everything, another code came up. So it's not going to be done now until at least tomorrow. They have to get another couple more parts to correct that other issue now. Um, so I don't think they're taking me for a ride or anything. These are issues that the truck has had. The exhaust, as I said, touched on in a previous video, was botched up by somebody who had worked on it previously who did not tighten a clamp properly. And so the whole part broke as a result of a clamp that wasn't tightened, and that led to a host of other problems. I had a load booked and everything. I had to cancel it. So yeah, I'm here another night. So the update on the tropics, Invest 92L continues to be disorganized. It is moving into Barbados and those islands in that region now. They're going to get a lot of rain and probably some gusty winds with it. And the western edge is already entering the eastern Caribbean. However, the system appears to be losing its circulation. It's running into some shear, it looks like, to the north and west, and perhaps some drier air. Some of that Saharan dust may be getting sucked in on the northern and western flanks of the system. And so basically most of the convection now is south of the circulation, and the circulation appears to be weakening at this point because there are some westerly winds beginning to shear it on the north side of the system. However, it is an impressive looking area of showers and thunderstorms, and despite all of that, they do have tropical storm warnings for Puerto Rico, and hard to say whether that's actually going to play out, or, I mean, part of this system is already crashing into the coast of South America near Trinidad. So it may get some drier air drawn up off South America as well. But in the past 12 hours, it appears that the system is no longer it's not as organized of a circulation as it was 12 hours ago. The system behind it that I mentioned yesterday that came off Africa, it doesn't look that impressive other than the fact that it's a large area of appears to be showers and thunderstorms, but there's no organization to it either. It's moving west across the Atlantic behind this other system. The system over Mexico is beginning to merge out into the Pacific. However, I don't think the waters are going to be warm enough to support a regeneration of that system. It's probably going to die out once it gets beyond southern tip of Baja, very likely. Hurricane Douglas, which grazed Hawaii a couple of days ago, is moving northwestward from there, and it's pretty much been sheared apart now. We have another system out in the Pacific, northeast of Guam, that's similar to the one in the Atlantic that's spinning around. But that does not appear to be developing into a typhoon at the moment. It's a very similar system to the one in the Atlantic, though. I mentioned the system yesterday coming on to Africa that off the Arabian Sea. I mentioned the Bay of Bengal. It's actually the Arabian Sea where that system was moving through. It's now into Africa, moving across the continent, and there is another system grazing the southern tip of India. It's going to move into the Arabian Sea. But again, all these systems are very broad areas of low pressure, with the exception of Hurricane Douglas, which again grazed Hawaii a couple days ago. That is the only system that looks like a normal system that we're used to seeing in the tropics this time of year. All the other systems seem to be following this new pattern where they're very broad areas of circulation but not really consolidating into anything intense, and yet still have a lot of showers and thunderstorms, bands of lots of heavy rain associated with these systems, like moving through Barbados right now. They're getting pounded with heavy rain from this one in the Atlantic. But it's not a hurricane, not even a tropical storm. It's just a tropical low pressure area. Here in Florida, we're getting pounded with heavy rain on and off all day because a system in the Gulf that kind of developed kind of weird because Hurricane Hannah moved ashore, and now another system developed in the Gulf and kind of moved northeast toward the Florida Panhandle. A weak system, but enough to dump some very heavy rain. And so, yeah, the tropics are not behaving in a normal manner. The steering currents in many areas are very weak, especially in the Gulf, in the around Florida, in that area, Caribbean. The steering currents are just really not very strong. And so, yeah, this system, when it moves into the Caribbean, I almost think part of it's going to crash into South America probably and get absorbed into all the activity there of convection. Maybe a piece of it might head up to the Northern Caribbean, but I almost think that it's going to likely be sheared apart, at least for now. So this 92L. Because the circulation, as I mentioned in the beginning, seems to be getting more disorganized. There is a cold front moving across a good part of the U.S. from an intense area of low, especially for the end of July, moving through central Ontario, between Lake Superior and James Bay, and it's dragging a cold front down throughout the whole entire northern half of the U.S. And there's another cold front over the Atlantic, which may be contributing to this 92L beginning to get sheared a bit. So there's a lot of low pressure systems in the northerly latitudes that, again, are pushing this high pressure belt further south. These fronts are coming south, suppressing the subtropical high southward. And when that happens, these storms that try to come north out of the tropics are going to get sheared off pretty quick. So that is going to be it for this video and my update on the tropics and 92L. Hope you enjoyed this discussion, found it interesting. I will be back soon.